Lycan was the actual game-winning hero. I have to see what Aster are going to go for. Could be position 3 Sven, could be support Sven. I don't know if I necessarily prefer one way or the other this game. A little bit surprising to see, say, the Rubik instead of Shadow Shaman or something to go along with the Centaur. That lane has proven itself time and time again to be extremely potent. Aster now taking quite a bit of time on this pick. Pretty important decision. They have to decide where the Sven's going. They're just going to go for Tiny, a hero that started the day off being first phase banned that has now crept its way through all the way here into the second phase. So I guess Sven is playing poor. Tiny is just going to be position 4 here. We did see a position 4 Tiny fail fairly spectacularly for Room 310 in the previous series, but we'll see if do a little bit better with it this game, but both probably playing it. Unfortunately, Tiny does not seem like a super reliable hero against Lifestealer anymore. Like previously, you could just jump in, Abatos the Lifestealer, do a bunch of damage, and even if he raged, it'd still be pretty low. But now it's way easier to rage through the Avalanche. It does feel like there's a couple of things at play here with Lifestealer's rise. Not only is he getting buffed directly, but a lot of the heroes that either used to counter him a little bit, like Troll and Tiny and stuff like that, his matchups against those heroes have also been made a lot easier with some of... Could just be that this is going to become a Lifestealer meta. Or maybe Team Aster will show us the way to deal with it here by just playing fast, continuing to get really good farm on the Luna, and if the Luna stays neck and neck with the Lifestealer and gets a Butterfly before he gets MKB, I could see this be a fairly good game for Aster. Razor just going to be the ban, still doing a little bit more work for their Lifestealer here, potentially. I don't know if RNG are going to think of picking Kunkka here as well. Could be a pretty good Kunkka game. A little bit more lockdown wouldn't be bad for them necessarily, and could do for something relatively beefy on the mid lane, though the Medusa is the ban. That could have also been a decent pick. Aster, what are they going to go for? Do they want the Huskar? Don't think the Lycan is looking all that great. Could go for it. It can kind of get up in the Dazzle and the Rubik's faces a little bit, but...
10 seconds remaining.
What do Aster want?
5 seconds remaining.
We don't have a whole lot of time to decide.
Dire team pick.
And it is going to be, ooh, Ursa. Okay. Alright. This hero has also gotten a big move speed buff. He is certainly good at just running at Lifestealer constantly and making his life a living hell. Also not too fun for the Centaur to have to lane against either. I've been wondering where this hero is, and there you go. I was just thinking, like, oh, maybe Ursa's just a pub thing. Is there something else going on? But Aster are going to give it a try, so we do get that kind of last grab, it looks like, here for XXS. Is Ursa actually... Who's playing mid here? Who is mid for this lineup? Is it actually Tiny going mid? Mushi Tiny mid? Or Mushi Ursa mid? We'll have to wait and see who picks up what. And RNG... How do they make this Ursa's life hard? Maybe like a Venomancer? It has to be a mid hero, so... What else can they go for that's decent against this Fuzzy Wuzzy? I don't actually know. I mean, they could, like, tinker in this position, but it doesn't feel amazing.
Choose your hero.
I'm gonna go for the Mirana. Okay, so it's fairly elusive, can get away from the Ursa. It is gonna be Setsu on that Mirana, and Aster Who is playing what here? Who is mid? Who is okay, so it is XXS. Yeah, XXS, Ursa, Mushi, Tiny, and Fenrir and Baboka, Sven, and Oracle. So there you go. They are going to have the Tiny mid. So Mushi once again kind of playing on this more space creaty kind of hero. It is similar to what Dendi has been doing on the actual Tigers roster. So interesting to see that we're going to be getting a little bit more of that here. He played a pretty nice puck earlier today. We'll see how his Tiny goes here. Should do okay in the lane versus the Marana, though. Maybe he'll get ganked by the Rubik a little bit. Or that. And we'll have to see. Can this Luna Ursa be the answer to the Lifestealer, which has just been running all over these minor qualifiers, both the SEA region and China now. I'm actually, what are the stats overall for the minor? Have a look. What's getting picked? Most picked hero is Sven at 27. Lifestealer's not too far behind at 24, but Lifestealer has a 70% win rate. Like, yeah, Lifestealer has an insane combination of pick stats and win rate. 24 games, 70% win rate, only 13 bans. Overall most contested hero, he's actually the 7th most contested. Sven is the most contested hero across the entire thing. 48 combined picks and bans. But let's get to it. Monet Lifestealer, Mad Dazzle, Afu Rubik, Setsu Marana, and Flyby Centaur up against the Sven, being played by Fenrir. We've got Baboka on Oracle, we got Sylar on his Luna, Mushi on Tiny with no cosmetics. Actually, wait, does he have the... Oh no, he does have the Immortal. And finally, XXS on the Ursa. They get their Observer Wards down nice and early. I don't know if Royal have managed to scout out any of these. This should be an interesting series. Winner goes to the minor. Aster, can they keep their major streak alive? They haven't done well at the last 2 majors, but they have attended. And we'll see maybe with this swap up of Mushi. It's still not clear necessarily if Mushi is a permanent replacement for Love You Love Me, or if it's just a temporary thing, but have to see how it goes. Aster seemingly planning for an invade for the bounty rune, but it still looks like it's going to end up being a 2-2 split. Dazzle, is Dazzle somehow going to get both of these? No way. Success is going to run for it. Alright, he's got the Fury Swipes already. Mad with the Poison Touch. Can't really afford to stay here and fight. He's going to get driven back, and Aster will get 3 out of the 4 bounties. RNG really just focusing on going for the blocks early on. They're actually sending the Lifestealer mid. So they're sending the Lifestealer up against the Tiny, because they don't want the Marana in that matchup. Or crappy base damage. We'll see if this does any better with the Lifestealer. So some pretty big adjustments on both sides. Aster going for the aggro tri lane. I think they might have been looking to shut down the Lifestealer, but Lifestealer evades. And I don't know, both teams looking like they might get a decent amount out of these lanes. Aster's tri-lane unfortunately has slightly reduced kill potential because of the Oracle, at least early on. But they do have pretty good damage with the Lunar Blessing. Yes, just getting punched a little bit by the Poison Touch. Ursa playing against a double ranged lane. This is not going to be fun for him. And I really like the decision for RNG to just kind of hide the Lifestealer in the mid lane. Because I don't think he wanted to lane against the tri-lane, and I don't think he wanted to lane against the Ursa either. So, process of elimination, just send him mid. Flyby, taking a few hits, but the wave is pushing pretty heavily with double range creep. Baboka's going to go for a little side pull here. Same story for Mad over on the other side. Both side lanes taking full advantage of the position that they're in. Afu coming in here. Try and soak a little bit of experience or something. He's got boots, so he's not really in too much danger if they make any kind of move on him. Lane, Mushi doing okay, but Monet is still seemingly farming just fine in here. And the playmaking for RNG can come from a couple of different places. The Marana can kind of rotate around. Try and find some kills. The Centaur maybe with the Stampede. Though he does really need his Blink Dagger this game. See how the Ursa does. He's getting kind of left out on an island, though. Oh, no Fenrir's down here actually helping out now. So, okay, they break up the tri-lane, and it is still double melee against double range, so not ideal, but Ursa still seems to be finding some CS. Kind of difficult for the Mirana to deny him if he gets a early Fury Swipe stack up on the creep. Just getting gone on. Got only 2 armor, so auto attacks do hurt quite a bit. Afu did manage to get the D ward on his pull, so he's able to just start racking up a little bit of bonus experience that way, though unfortunately there's no connection, so this is going to push the lane back the other way. Mad in a little bit of trouble, did get stunned up. They went forward with the Ursa trying to find a kill, but a nicely positioned arrow by Setsu is going to open up a little bit of a gap, and the Dazzle does just barely manage to escape. So still no first blood just yet. Boca around the side, just given... They gotta be careful of these retaliate stacks, actually. Got the 13 stacks up. So all they're gonna need is maybe a rotation from the Dazzle, and could look for a kill up here. A lot of bonus damage. And we should try with the Avalanche to get the last hit. I don't think he managed it. A little bit low on mana over at mid lane.
That is ours.
How's Setsu doing in terms of doing just fine? 17 and 4. Everybody across the board kind of getting some CS. So should be a fairly high farm game. And again, we'll see if the Luna can outfarm this Lifestealer build, and if the Ursa is going to be able to keep the Lifestealer in check. Setsu, do you want to arrow this big creep? What other ways do they have to start off on the Lifestealer? And nothing really. I guess they can jump in, toss him, and then maybe find a follow-up stun or something. That's about it. Mona should fairly reliably be able to get the range off this game. Well, we're just grabbing some early Wraith bands. Pretty chill laning stage. Things about to get a little bit more interesting now as the bounty runes pop up. RNG just charging past Aster, but Afu getting left behind a little bit. Flatfire now popping his retaliate stack. It's only going to take one more hit for that first blood, and Afu's still on the run. Sylar will finish him with that final Lucent Beam, but Afu still managed to grab the bounty rune, so the top 2 are going to be claimed by RNG. And looks like the bottom ones, well, we got Fenrir with 1 and XXS with 1, so slight advantage. Actually, no advantage. 2 bounty runes each. Just getting gone on, though. Keeping this Poison Touch refreshed. We have the arrow also available. What's Maboka up to? Meandering over to mid. Needs to be... Ooh, actually, he's being spotted this entire time, so... They know exactly what's going on with this ward. Monet making sure not to react so that they can come and get the D ward. And Afu's already got the Sentry ward at the ready, so... We're not destined to stick around all that long. It does reveal that they have a ward somewhere in this area, but it's kind of hard to tell exactly where. Anything interesting happening build-wise? Just some phase boots for the Ursa, treads for the Luna. Mushi's just picked up a Soul Ring. Centaur's going for some phase boots. Mirana picking up treads, and Lifestealer already grabbed up the Gloves of Haste. May not even finish the phase boots before he finishes off the Midas. This is going to be a pretty fast Midas. 1,200 gold already. 35 and 11. Lifestealer doing just fine on the middle lane. And once he gets a few more levels, he can quite easily just start heading into the jungle, and they can start giving this lane over to the supports, potentially. Oh, the Dazzle. He's got the Grave. Can he get it out? Not in time. Too many auto attacks from XXS. He tried for the heal instead of the Grave, and There are way too many points in Fury Swipes for that. The damage that XXS can put out at this point is pretty ridiculous. Monet Fantaise. Be a couple of free hits. Doesn't want to risk anything stupid. He's almost got his Midas completed.
As must be.
I think if you're Sylar, you probably go for the Manta this game instead of the Dragonlance. Yasha farms a little bit faster than Dragonlance does, and you want the Manta style. Also, you kind of want it, one, because there's not that much AoE to kill them, and two, you want a way to deal with the open wounds, I guess. Though a Hurricane Pike later on could be pretty handy against some of what RNG have going. Fenrir taking some damage, but I don't think Setsu wants to make any kind of aggressive leap forward. RNG sitting on just a little bit of a net worth lead. Very even, but we'll see what happens once this laning phase starts to break down a little bit more. Could see a rotation out of Mushi to one of these lanes. The Centaur also has some rotation potential soon, but for now seems content to just keep on farming up under this tower, and they have brought Afu and Mad together up here at top. Try and find something, though they've already been revealed. Mushi actually running all the way top, but like this is being easily scouted by this dire observer ward, and so Monet just gonna tell them what's going on and easily continue farming. Mushi grabs the little neutral camp on his way back to the mid lane, but in the end will be forced to TP back. Ooh, okay, this time right it's Aster getting the quick D ward, so the vision game is actually raging. I mean, it doesn't seem like it. I know it's only a couple of D wards, but both these teams are on top of it, so it'll be interesting to see what happens through the mid game. Alright, Rage, Avalanche doing nothing. We should kind of clear this creep wave. We'll get the majority of it. Sven knows that the Rage is being used. Comes in here, pops down the sentry ward, but that gets quickly dealt with by Monet, actually. It's in range of that sentry. Oh no, it's in range of the sentry on the high ground. The Stampede coming forward. RNG looking for this kill. They go onto Baboka first. They bring him down. Sylar also drawing a little bit of attention. They stood Fenrir at mid, and Royal just take that opportunity 100%. They knew that the Sven wasn't here for the counter initiation. Bottom lane, though, Mushi rotating down does find Setsu. Big damage from XXS from the Enrage. And, alright, well, still a nice kill for Aster. Still keeping it close. Fenrir does just take over experience on the middle lane. Monet, this time around, he actually finished the Midas, so should be a little bit more timely on the Radiance. Just grabbing some phase boot. So he's kind of ready to fight. Oh, Terminate Rune. Coming up. Eclipse onto the Dazzle. Can he get the Grave out? He won't be able to. Bounty Runes secured. A little bit of a different build from Sylar this time around. Did decide to go for the point in the Eclipse just to contest that rune, and it is going to end up being 4 Bounty Runes for Aster. No contest whatsoever out of RNG. They could have maybe skilled up Moonlight Shadow a little bit earlier and tried to do something with that, but Setsu just on a full farming trajectory for now. Afu waiting for a sneaky opportunity to lift somebody back into tower range, maybe. He's in a good spot, lifts back into the stomp, but Flyby's not in the right position. Alright, Sylar's gonna be just fine. He does have 21 charges, so he's probably okay, but... Oh, they send XXS mid to try and hunt the Lifestealer, but Lifestealer heads bottom, and they just send the Mirana over here, so... Still getting the matchups that they wanted. Mushi, I would imagine, just gonna go for a blink here. Shadowblade also an option if he wants to put a little bit more pressure on. Doesn't have this kill or anything, but a bit free damage on Mushi, why not? Keep him on his toes. Ursa has a Vlad, so Roshan is now a possibility. Has no points in the Earthshock just yet. But very active, very aggressive build. XSS actually the lead farmer on Aster. And comes running around the corner here into Monet. I don't think Monet's going to be able to TP away from this Ursa. Gets into the trees, Rage, TP... Oh, no. Alright, never mind. He can't just TP away. Perish the thought. I thought that if he popped the Enrage, he would have enough damage, but never mind. Sylar getting chased down Tetsu really wants this kill. He gets the double Starstorm out, the stolen beam, looking for a little bit of follow-up, but Mushi is here to try and disengage this. Tetsu's got one more leap. He's just going to go for the TP out, but that immediately gets cancelled by Sylar. RNG, what are they doing back here? Sylar is just going to go right back to farm. They've got a healing salve ready for him, and RNG just lose. Dude. Very sloppy. Dazzle just grabbing some more levels. Flyby has picked up the hood, is also going to be grabbing the full Vanguard, it looks like. So, pretty greedy build overall. Luna just not even going is going to be going for the Mask of Madness. We did see Sylar going for this a little bit earlier. Flyby ran at. Thanks success has some stacked up. It's stunned up though. Should also be a lift from Afu if he can get in position. Flyby just juking out of the way a little bit. They do also have Dazzle on the case, so X6 just going to juke his way out of there with the Quelling Blade. He's very close to his Blink Dagger. And the nice thing about the use of this game is that he can kind of enable the Aegis for Luna. I don't even know if he's going to be taking it all that much, but Luna having the Aegis later on is going to be such a big farm multiplier. So far, Sylar a tiny bit behind the Lifestealer, but hasn't really maxed out the Moonglaives or anything just yet, so his farm speed is still developing, let's say. He's getting there. Both teams with these big insurance policy heroes kind of in their back pockets. We'll have to see how the matchup ends up going. I would say, traditionally, it kind of favors the Lifestealer. He doesn't really care about Eclipse, can get up in the Luna's face. A lot of it comes to item timings like AC, Butterfly, MKB, that kind of stuff. Basher as well can be pretty important. But there is a lot backing up the Luna this game. She's going to have a bunch of Aura, she's going to have the Warcry, she's going to have the False Promise. So we'll see how it all works out for the Lifestealer.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Mirana just going for a drum at the moment. Mushi looking for a Blink Dagger reveal. Would prefer not to go for the support. He sees Setsu. But that's maybe a little bit of a difficult kill. And they know that there are supports in the neighborhood. There could be a Grave coming in from the Dazzle. So they're just going to decide against it. Sylar getting pressured at mid lane. Monet needs to be careful. Just towards the end of the rage duration, will back out. Over at bottom lane, Fenrir pops the ultimate for a little bit more survivability. They're going to use the Stampede just to slow him down. Stormhammer stolen, and Afu secures the kill with that as Flyby also grabs himself the tier 1 tower last hit. So, tier 1 for tier 1 trade. Still keeping it close on the net worth and the experience. Mushi, can he get this kill? Is this a thing? No. This is just some harassment, I guess. Maybe if he'd actually gotten the full combo, that would have been something. But he didn't get the avalanche and the toss damage together, so. Nope. Alright, he just goes in this time around for the shrine bonus value for Mushi. I don't know if that was all planned, but if it was, kudos to him. Knew that he was going to go for the shrine and then just finishes him off the second time around. Alright. I'll give Mushi props for that. Let's say he's thinking one step ahead. Aster just focusing on mid. XS even going for a Hand of Midas now. Okay. So maybe he's the one who's going to be keeping pace with the Lifestealer. They just jump behind the tower and Mushi makes quick work of the Dazzle. Push going to continue coming in here from Aster. Afu doing his best to slow things down with the maxed out Fade Bolt. Do pop the Moonlight Shadow. Do they have detection on this Aster side? They do not, but now the Moonlight Shadow is being revealed, and Aster just gonna back themselves out. Alright, so Mushi, once again, space creating Luna, and they're kind of just taking more of a farming role. A Lifestealer has 3,400 gold toward his Relic. So still sitting on that #1 net worth spot. We will see if Aster can do anything to dethrone him. How many points we got? Blaze now. 3 points. Dragonlance up for Sylar, so a slight up in terms of his farming. And Afu, reasonably farmed. What's he working on here? Just an Aether Lens into a Blink. Monet's down here. They're going to try and look for this Ursa kill. It's going to be a little bit dangerous. We do have a lot of lockdown, maybe not quite enough damage. Call it quits. Flyby. Going to be going for the full pipe. So still no signs of a blink or anything from this Centaur. But we do have a blink up for the Ursa. I guess is just going to try and sneak into the pit here. Oh, messed it up. Okay, well, he still wasn't spotted anyway because the RNG vision doesn't go over there, so... Alright, XXS in the pit. Can RNG do anything about it? They're being very passive. The bottom's just trying to farm up and not really rotating. The Centaur's just going for sort of aura-based items and no blink, and I feel like they're letting Aster get away with a whole lot. They are going to put the Aegis on the Ursa this time around, but... Aster take that, and now they set their sights on this mid-tier 1 tower once again. It's going to be fairly easy takedown. Monet only a couple hundred gold away from his Radiance, though. So we'll see if that is going to be the call for RNG to start actually doing something. Lifestealer's on top, but the next 3 net worth spots are being held pretty comfortably by Aster. Net worth ticking up a little bit after that Roshan. Got an Echo Saber for the Tiny, so his damage is really getting up there. A bit of, I mean, just harassing Flybys. Nothing that they can really do about him. Without all of their heroes. Sylar, is he going to go for an early BKB, or does he just play this kind of stat-focused? He doesn't really want to buy BKB. It's not going to speed up his farming speed by a whole lot, but could be important in these fights. But no, just queues up the Yasha, so looks like it is going to be maybe Manta, Butterfly, Satanic, something like that. Disassemble the Mask of Bands a little bit later on. Oh, Flyby turns back around, gets a nice 2-man stomp out, but they don't actually want this fight. Gonna back themselves away. Where is that Lifestealer Radiance? It is complete. So RNG, is this a moment that you want to actually take a fight? Or are both teams paradoxically feeling more confident about their late game? It is definitely Aster on the front foot with this Aegis for another couple of minutes. Just surprising to me that RNG are not trying to make any plays whatsoever. Oh no, quick range TP. Goes for the safe TP to the tier 3 just in case TP would have been delayed by the tier 2. But knowing that Lifestealer's TP'd away, there's no way that he can come and defend bottom, so RNG better find something to do while Aster are just pushing down here. I don't think they're going to be going away anytime soon. They push really quickly as well. This tier 1 tower is low, but they're not there just yet. Aster, what are they looking for? They're going to try and find a fight. Do they want to try and defend their towers? They do have the majority of their TP scrolls up, but Mushi is lacking his for a little bit. So Sylar's just going to keep going at bottom. Keep the supports in the neighborhood to help him out just in case, but it does seem like we're just heading towards a trade. Flyby not even going to be going for a Blink Dagger this game, just queuing up the Force Staff. Aster definitely push faster with their Vlads and their Luna. This is no problem at all. Fenrir even going to pop the God Strength. Are they going to force them back by going high ground? I think they should. And Royal needing to respond. Can they land an arrow? They're looking for it. Just catches a creep. Tier 3 towers getting hit, and they're not really stopping this. Now that Aster see all of these TPs, they're going to scatter, but they should take some farm on the way back out. And Sylar is going to be the first one up to top. Just continue farming toward his Manta. So, turns out that the Luna can't necessarily match this Lifestealer build in terms of raw farm, or at least not yet. But staying fairly close, and they have a really big Ursa. Like, XXS has gotten a ton of farm. This Midas decision has really worked out pretty well. Though I think a lot of that is just that Mushi was doing well, and it created this opening for XXS to be a little bit greedier, but it's going to be pretty big. And once he gets this Basher, Ursa just gets so scary. He's going to be an absolute nightmare for Lifestealer to deal with. I think that's why we see all these kiting tools being built by Royal. They desperately need it to deal with this Ursa Warrior. Even, hell, Baboka has a Midas. What the heck? Alright, Aster just playing for their superior late game, I suppose. The Lifestealer's being greedy, and they're just gonna fight greed with greed. It's not proving to be the most interesting game of Dota, to be honest, but there are some interesting strategy consequences here. Like, if they can just give away the Lifestealer and then be like, ha, we can just outfarm it. It does have some interesting implications for the remainder of this best of 3, but for this game, not a hell of a lot happening, unfortunately, so... This is where we just, you know, sit back, relax. If you've got 2 monitors, maybe you open YouTube on the other one, you watch a little bit of something over there. Because there is really not a whole lot happening in this game. Aegis is going to be reclaimed, or Aegis was already reclaimed a few seconds ago. So, we are still just on farm stations. Marana did not end up going for the Maelstrom, has just got a Dragon Lance and a Diffusal Blade. Mushi just going for a BKB, Baboka still farming up a Storm. With the experience, talent, and his Hand of Midas, he is going to be a very high level before too long. Okay, they've got a Blink Dagger on Flyby, something's finally happening. Pause that YouTube video. We've got some action. RNG also gonna pop the Moonlight Shadow. This hasn't been detected. Smoke's about to break. They know what's going on. They jump the Oracle first. He won't be able to save himself. XXS waiting in the trees. They jump in on top of Mushi. They got the lift onto him. XXS is gonna hone in onto Mad. The bash comes in, but the Grave got there a little bit beforehand. They finally get the Sentry Ward down. They bought back on Baboka. They have to try and find a little bit more Flyby. Trapped in the river. Eclipse raining down on his head. Looks like he will be the next one to fall. As Aster find a turnaround and XXS gets a double kill. Mushi running up onto the high ground here. Doesn't find anybody, but still kind of sizing up that Rana over at bottom, though. Aster, as soon as that team fight was taken, just swing straight over to mid lane, take this tier 2 tower. They've got a couple of Midases that they need to use, well, just the one. XXS waiting on that creep wave to respawn. Tier 3 tower getting worked at. Monet running in, but can he actually fight this? He needs to be wary of a bash. There's maybe a little bit too much physical damage for him right now. The tier 3 is already dead, and Aster is just going to keep on going. They've got this Manta on the Luna. This is a great timing for them. XXS losing a little bit of life, but without the Centaur, they really can't initiate on this. Sylar just going to rely on the false promise to keep him alive. He gets force-stabbed, and now tossed by Mushi out of harm's way. I think Sylar should be fine. Mushi's going to try for the TP out. His life for his carry. Very nicely done, Mushi. They will also end up losing Baboka, but this is similar to what we saw in the previous game. RNG, they lose the lane of Rax, but they do get a couple of kills on the way back out. Lifestealer still looking decent, but how much can they actually get on the swing back here? Alright, they get the tier 1 tower, that's nice and easy. Roshan potentially respawning in 20 seconds time, and Royal just really want to punish this. They want some more towers, get a little bit more map control. XXS is just working on an Aghanim Scepter. Alright, finally the backdoor protection gets disabled. They do have the Stampede. This could be an opportunity for them to fight. The Eclipse is on cooldown. Are they going to try and rax back the opposite direction? Aster aren't really able to threaten anything too big, but for RNG, it's just a step too far to try and go straight up onto that high ground. Monet really wants this AC, install this physical damage. Marana's just going for a Manta style. And XXS immediately TPing bottom. As soon as the Lifestealer swaps sides, Aster swaps sides of the map. And are going to look for a couple of kills here, TPing aggressively with their own jungle. They've got some really nice vision to enable this, so they can feel confident just TPing straight onto the Shrine. Mushi doesn't see anybody here. Otherwise, probably would have gone for a toss back to the Sven, but couldn't quite catch anything. Probably not going to think about doing anything here. He knows that both of the supports are right behind this Centaur. Or that the Centaur is behind the Rubik, which he spotted a second ago. So it won't be able to go for any kills. Tiny just tanking up. Has gone for the 20 move speed, 400 HP. Mushi very much just utility focused. in this game. Royal are going to go for a smoke. This is without the Mirana. They do also have a Moonlight Shadow. What kind of initiation can they find? They're smoking to their little bit of vision that they have over here. Roshan respawning in 19 seconds, but it's not there just yet. Still don't see anything. They're hoping that StarLadder is going to go over and actually just jump blind up onto the high ground after the smoke breaks. They do get the stun onto Mushi. Alright, I should have been on all vision there. Flyby getting gone on. That's the stolen false promise over onto the Centaur, keeping him alive. Ursa's in the middle of this fight. He pops the Enrage, trying to keep on fighting, but he's not really life-stealing up. And now the Shallow Grave comboing with that false promise. They're wasting so much time trying to kill the Centaur, and they can't even finish him off. But Boca will be the next one to fall. Mushi losing some mana to the Diffusal Blade. He gets locked down, does get the toss back onto Monet, but RNG find all 3 kills. They didn't have, I don't think they had any vision up this hill, but they just judged where the smoke distance was, straight into the blink-in hoof stomp and flyby, totally setting that up for his team. Very nice steal from the Rubik, and Royal, now they get to claim their prize. They're looking towards the Roshan. It's going to take a little while, but Tiny's still dead for 28 seconds, and they're looking for more on the other side of the fight. Fenrir getting defused up is going to look around for the turn. Afu steals the stun, but can he actually get out of here? Mushi isolating the 2 supports, back with the Luna, Flyby finding the lockdown onto Sylar. Can they keep him alive? They don't have the false promise this time around, but Boca only just TPing in, and the stomp into the arrow combination, ending Sylar's life before he even had an opportunity to get off any auto attacks. RNG, the team fight combinations, so nice. Mushi even bought back and ends up dying. And they're going to head back uninterrupted into this Roshan. Alright, so Aster just have to give this away. Grab a little bit more farm. Those last 2 fights, very, very nice. I think Aster is still in a decent position, but this butterfly timing isn't going to matter too much if the lifestealer gets too much more farm. He's just going to go straight into the MKB. Still needs to finish the full AC, so Tyler's going to get quite a bit of value out of this butterfly, but the Aegis is a really big pickup for RNG. What's Dota Plus saying? Still anybody's game. It did like Aster 75% a few minutes ago, but has now decided that it's an RNG fan instead. And yeah, Monet seeing that butterfly, 100% going to go for the MKB. Though, you know, unfortunately, MKB is not 100% anymore, but you gotta make do with what you can get. What are they looking for here? Just some bounties. Fenrir chilling down here on the low ground. Successco's jumping up, hoping for a lucky bash or something, but just gonna be a 2-2 split. No big advantage either way for the gold. Afu now picking up even more items, has a Force Staff, and he's got himself an Aetolin, so they've got multiple... Actually, they don't have multiple Force Staffs just yet for the Ursa. It's just the 1 Force Staff so far. Just Centaur went for the Blink instead of finishing that Force Staff that he had queued up earlier. Mad is trying to get some D-wards going, claim a little bit of control over this radiant side of the map. We do have the Manta also up for the Mirana. Also going to be going for an MKB. If these MKBs come online, I start to worry for some. Satanic's going to be helpful, though. If he gets False Promise and he has a Satanic, it seems very unlikely that he dies. Just so much healing. Mushi. Alright. Lifted. Keep him in place. Arrow. So much chain stun. They don't even need to worry about stacking it. He's dead from full to 0. Monet is all by himself at bottom, being a very nice decoy with his Aegis. XXS is doing his best to push the top, but Ursa not necessarily renowned for his building pushing ability, as Monet is actually inside of the base with his Rage turned on. He's got 2 catapults backing him up. XXS doing his best to finish off this tower, but I think he just needs to come back and fight. He will be TPing now. RNG, they get through the tier 3, they're looking towards the rack. Mushi's still dead for 20 seconds. Tyler not feeling confident to run forward onto the front lines, and they don't have their initiator, so what can they really do? RNG looks like it might just be 1 racks to the next. That quick back-to-back-to-back ganks into the Roshan pit has given them a huge opportunity here. Sieging high ground with the Aegis on the lifestealer. They're going to try and throw Fenrir back into the arrow. Not quite timing that correctly. Mushi now finally arriving. Monet still has the Aegis. RNG backing up a little bit. They do split up somewhat. Flyby off to the side, but... Alright, gonna show Aster a little bit of respect and just back themselves out. Oh no, Monet's almost got this Demon Edge. Like I was saying, this matchup, a lot of it depends on who stays ahead of who in terms of items, and the Lifestealer having this MKB just really makes this Butterfly look a lot less impressive. It's still giving Sylar a decent amount of armor, but the chain stun combinations from RNG have been so nice this game. Monet just selling a couple of things, doing really whatever he wants, seemingly. That to me is the thing that's standing out so much about Lifestealer in this patch, is he goes for this build and he just does whatever he pleases. He pushes whatever lane, charges up any high ground. It really makes the game pretty easy to play if there's just no way to actually punish the Lifestealer for making what would otherwise be a dumb move. They're gonna come in and try now. XXS trying to latch onto the Lifestealer, but he can't really do it. The Force Staff drags the Centaur away. They are gonna toss back in Setsu, but he just leaps back into safety. Sylar does get arrowed. Can they finish him off? He's got the Satanic. They've got the False Promise, but now they just kite it out. XXS looking for a little bit more lockdown. Flyby comes in. 2-man stop. They're gonna stop Sylar from healing too much. 3-man stun. Stolen by the Rubik. Sylar is dead. The heals bombing through, and XXS also getting right-click down. RNG, just great plays coming in from Afu. Sylar wasn't able to actually get that many auto attacks off with the Satanic, and it was just too much damage from this Lifestealer. That's 2 lanes of racks down, and Aster, they're done. They're going to call GG here in game number 1, and it's going to have to be back to the drawing board as RNG get themselves 1 step closer to the minor. They were denied going to the major by just 1 series. They lost out to Keen Gaming for that very last